Hello everybody, thanks for stopping by the channel. Pretty excited today. I'm going to do a tool review from the DIMIDE company. They build two clamps, an 8-inch and a 5-inch. They contacted me and asked me to do a review on the product. This is from a home hobbyist review, and we'll talk a little bit about production. I've done some building in my past and know the value of speed and labor costs versus product costs. First off, we'll just talk about delivery. The unit came in a priority mail box, and I did call them and tell them they do need to work on their packaging. The box made it, but it was pretty beat up. And I'm going to do an honest review here of the product. As you know, it's supplied to me for free and as a gift or as a sponsor, and not a sponsor, but a free gift to do a review. So with that said, let's talk about just fit and finish about the unit for a second. This unit weighs about 10, almost 11 pounds, and we'll talk about comparison. But my first thing when I had actually picked the unit up at that weight, it's heavy. Okay, it's heavy, that's fine. This one I think is about 5 pounds. But they do need to work on their finish here. The edges do need to be just rolled a little bit. To pick them up barehanded, it feels like it wants to cut into your hand right there. Other than that, the finish on the unit they're just immaculate, super made. Of course, they're made in the USA. Copper coated on the bolt here and on both of the pads. They have the V pads, they have the straight pad, and they have the X pads. Pretty impressed with the tool all in all. As you know, any fabricator, hobbyist, or in a professional shop, you're going to have clamps, right? You're going to have vice clamps, you're going to have C clamps, can't twist clamps, F clamps. We have all these different clamps. So why do I need this guy? What's the merit of owning this? I'm just going to read down a couple of things here just to make sure I cover them. It's off their product list. As I mentioned, they're made in the USA. They're improved for safety. They close much faster than a standard C-clamp. As you can see, if I'm going to close this C-clamp, I'm going to wind it, okay? And we'll talk about that again in a second. They're designed for industrial use. They do have a removable hand drive that you can actually drive. So the unit drives with a socket, with an interior hex, or you can run a socket on the other side. As I mentioned, they have the grooves in the pads for biting on round surfaces, copper coated. The clamping force is pretty huge. It's 7,400 pounds on the 5-inch and 7,700 pounds on the 8-inch. That's using, you could use a breaker bar if you had to, or you could use an impact gun. I'm going to show you just operation here with a 20-volt drill or impact drill, just to show you how it works. I'm trying to go through this fairly quick for you. Customer service, they have a full customer service department. They're going to be at FabTech this year, coming up in 2017 in November. You could see, if anybody's attending FabTech, you can see them. And of course, they have an immediate 30-day return policy if you're unhappy, and a 2-year limited warranty. So I think they have all the bases covered in that situation. Again, this clamp at 10 pounds, a comparative C clamp is about 6 pounds. This is a Wilton. Same opening, an 8-inch opening to an 8-inch opening. So a little bit of weight difference there. So a couple things here. One, I said I've had this for about a week and thought about all the various times that I've used a C clamp to close a gap down or to secure something and been under there fighting and working hard with the C-clamp and trying to say, well, how in the heck can I show a demonstration of that out of all the years that I've fabricated things and have used C-clamps or one of the various other clamps, vice grips or what have you. One of the things that happens, and I didn't do this, but one of the things that happens when you really try to tighten a C-clamp, you can bend that. I didn't do that, okay? So, where I think this tool would really come in handy in a industrial setting would be if you had repetitive setups. And so if you had one setup, you came down, you used a C-clamp, you tightened down, you did your work, you popped it off, you brought in your next piece, put the C-clamp back on, well, that's going to be quicker than reaching over and grabbing a drill driver to operate this guy. If you were going to have 10 of these in a row, where you had to clamp something down and then open them up and then clamp them back down, well then I would see that your money savings is right there. Pick up a power tool, whether it's an air impact or electric impact, pop them open, pop them back closed, and Bob's your uncle, right? That's where I think it would really come in handy. For a home hobbyist, you basically have almost a mobile vise that can be set up in so many various ways. I would strongly recommend that you look at their website, and they do have multiple videos up with different uses of the product. It also has holes here, and these holes you can put bars in them so that you have security for holding on something. Also various methods of setup with it. Also, it's another way to hang the unit when you're putting the unit away. So just to show you, here it is with a drill driver, and simple to open and close. It's a heck of a unit. On the smaller unit, I did notice that it's possible, as you can see, if you had gloves on and things, you might pinch your gloves in there. But I think that would, once you use them enough, you know how to use the tool. The other interesting thing is, dependent upon which way you have the tool set, and again, this would come with using the tool all the time. Here, I'm tightening the tool. Let me just back this up for a second. So here I'm turning clockwise, and I'm tightening the tool. Well, if this tool was the other way, I'm turning counterclockwise. Where'd that just go? If I use my ratchet, now I'm goofing up on you guys. But here, if I'm turning the opposite direction, here's my ratchet. If I was using the ratchet to tighten, well, I'm opening it now with the unit the other direction. And at first to me that was confusing. I was going, wait a minute, I'm tightening and it's opening. Well, if you use these quite often, you'll know the direction of use. It's just operator error for the first time for me using it. So let me flip you to a quick little video. I was mentioning that what uses I would use in my shop, and was trying to think of a sample. Well, you can see right behind me there's a toe jack, and let's click over to that video. Well, as mentioned in the video, there's lots of uses, and I was trying to come up with something that I've used it in the past and really couldn't remember. But here's a little situation. My good friend Carl tonight gave me a jib crane, and I was looking at mounting it in the back of my pickup truck. And so it's sitting on a base right now, and it's loose, and I'm going to mount the head on it. So yeah, I could come over here with a C-clamp and start tightening it down, and of course the C-clamp's going to hit here. Right? It's doable. It's time consuming. So here's the 5-inch clamp, and I'm going to open it, if you can see that. And this is with just the 1/4-inch driver. Put it here. that quick with a little 1/4" 20, and it's in place, and I can go ahead and mount the top on this. So just shows you one quick use that I think this clamp setup is exceptional and can find many various uses within the shop, within a hobby shop. Okay, well, we're back from that video, and you could see there was a real quick use that was pretty handy. And so let's close out this video. Would I recommend this tool? Well, yes, it's a high quality tool. Would I recommend it for a home shop use? Well, that comes down to dollars. Of course, you can all go out and pick up C-clamps at estate sales and garage sales for $4, right? Or $6, or I buy them all the time. You can't have enough clamps. These units here, the 8" is $129, and the 5" is basically $99, $100. It's expensive, huh, for a home hobbyist. But I got a whole toolbox. I got a whole shop of expensive tools that don't get used all the time, but when you need them, they're there. And so for a home hobbyist, I really feel there's value to own these tools. It'll be a situation where you'll find the more you have it, the more you'll use it. It's almost no different than when I took my porta-band saw and turned it to a vertical bandsaw. It's one of my favorite tools in the shop to use. So with that closing, I recommend the tool. I think from a professional shop use, there's definitely merit versus labor savings and the cost of the actual equipment. I think it'll pay itself back very quick. And for the home hobbyist, again, it's an expense, but I think it's a well spent expense that you'll find for use for many, many years. All right, thanks for stopping by the channel, and I hope you found this information really useful for yourself. Take care. Here's a method of storage, and here's where he's reattaching by hand, now using the impact wrench. And the next little clip shows the strength of the clamp holding as he's pushing a grinder against round pipe. Another couple of views of the actual clamp holding there. Some welding shots, again the clamp being shown on the bench. And then finally, removal of the clamp using an impact gun. And then showing storage again as one method of storage with the hand wheel.